Thank you for the invitation to Bepro, and of course, it's really a pleasure to be with all of you.
Cool.
We are in the same stage where we play matches, we record the match, we can discuss in which conditions this happens, and then the coach has access to the replay of the match. I like to always, in our discussions here in the academy in Lillestrøm, to emphasize the importance there is a conceptual difference between watch the replay and analyze the match. And of course, when we say analyze the match, in consequences, is analyze the individual player. For me, there are a previous story, previous Bepro, and there is another story with Bepro. This is my experience, my honest experience. Before Bepro, I see the replay. I cannot see all the players at the same time. I cannot see all the pitch at the same time. So what I see is actions. Now I see one action, and now I see another action. But I cannot see the dynamic of the game. With Bepro, I can analyze the game, the plurality of the game. Now that's for me the big difference when I arrived to Norway. Also, I will say when I was in Spain, compared with the reality today, the possibility today. The second, I think, big consequence is that now with this type of tools, it's easy not just go as a reaction of the match. I can anticipate things. Now I can work, and actually this is what we are doing now. I can work with players to anticipate programs of improvement because the player has the data. Now the player has access with Bepro to see what is my potential improvement in short term or in medium term. Because now it's no opinions. The opinions is finished. That is for me the big change. Before, we were based on opinions. I think you are losing too many balls. Now this disappears. Now I know the exactly numbers of duels that you win and you lose, and in which conditions, or the number of exact passes that you do in certain conditions, passes forward, passes in the last third. So I think when the data is there, and with Bepro is possible, it's not that we are watching the last match, anticipated what can happen in the next month. And I think this is for me, the key difference in planning the improvement of the player. I think my experience with Bepro is that when you have the tool, you can optimize not just the end result, you can optimize the process. Personally, I don't really believe that I can impact in short term in the end result of the player or the performance of the team, but I can impact brutally in the process of how this boy or how this girl or how this team is working to improve. Why? Because, for example, today, 1 hour ago, I have a individual video meeting with a player, a junior player. And the first thing that you analyze is how you relation yourself with the space, how you recognize the space, how you recognize the moment when to move and where to move. How is the relation of your movement with your teammates, with the closer one and with the potential receptor of your action. That is impossible with, I only have this experience with Bepro. That is, I think, for me, what makes the revolution. That now, this concept, because this game is getting to be more dynamic and dynamic and dynamic, this is where we are going. More actions is happening per minute with more quickness. So the intuition of the player, I really believe, and when I am doing some seminars or whatever, I emphasize a lot that I think the big step in the future will be the intuition of the player. And the intuition is anticipate what happens. And to anticipate what happens, I can really work by the video analyzed with the player. This is where I think Bepro, or my experience with Bepro, has been key. So the concept that a space, time, opposition, teammates, the solutions are visible, and we can make a good analysis of what is happening. That I think is one of the big keys of this platform. As academy director, probably my most important and at the same time difficult role is when the board call me to say who is the next player, who is the next one, because I need to put a name and surname. I cannot go there and say, maybe, the maybe is not accepted. So I need to be precise and concrete. What I advanced, what I improved by Bepro is that I can compare the players. I can take the same action. For example, if the first team is looking for a central midfielder with a great play of looking forward passes, key passes, I can use this item and compare whatever player I have in the academy. So it's good for me. It's good for the coaches, because the coaches can emphasize in the key players that we need to discuss this concept, and then I can present objective data to the board. That is for me the big step with Bepro, that now I have facts, I have data, and I have the possibility to compare same profiles and improve these profiles according with what my club needs or what my club desire as a player profile in the first team. Yeah. I think it's fair to say that, for example, I have been in the last years very obsessious that I want to make the player proactive in the process. I don't want a player who come here to train and the coach will tell me what I have to do and the coach will tell me what I have to improve. No, I want a player who has autonomy and capacity of the process. With Bepro, when the match is finished, the player in an absolute short term gets the data, gets the video. He can connect any simple data to the video, and I can make the player the owner of the process. And I can make the coach a cooperator of the player. What I win players who are used to analyze, to think, to ask questions. Now for me, what is beautiful is that our players ask questions to the coaches. It's not the coach who asks questions to the player, because they see the data, they see the numbers, they see the videos, so now they think in advance. Then I think this is big part of what the future will demand. Will demand players who are own responsibles and own leaders of their own training. What I have to do, what I can improve, what I need to do to make the next step. I think that is a big change from 10 years ago to now. Now we have players with the possibility to be the owner of the process of the improvement. That is, I think, is something fantastic.
Yeah.
The problem is not the access to the information. The problem is how we filter this data, how we go to be more precise and more concrete in what can help us to improve. I can watch 5 times, 6 times, 10 times a match. But when for my first, I remember pretty well, the first match analysis that I got for Bepro, when I got that filter in what I need in the offensive and the defensive, the key performance in the concepts to make me winner. When I can have this work down in a absolute record time, this made my week different. The planning of the week changed completely, because the planning of the sessions and the planning in what can be the key of the contents of the tactical contents of the session changed completely. And I think this will be the future of the technology. It's not the access to the data is there, is how quick you help me to recognize my winner key performance items my weakness to can succeed, to can, by training in short time, can really focus in what matters. I think there is not a worst feeling as a coach that lose your time. The coaches hate this moment, you know, when I'm losing time or I'm not really focusing in what it's key for me. The future of the technology is help to do this in competition, of course, as much as possible, and in the training process. So what I'm really satisfied in the evolution of Bepro from the initial version to the product today is that as a coach, as academy director, I get my time much more effective. So a week means much more for me now. How I can optimize by training, by video analyze, by meeting with the coaches. For example, as academy director, you analyze the matches by your coaches, and you win a lot of time to be effective, to be concrete. And I think that is, in my opinion, where the future can make the difference in the video analysis.